Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel At Home with Chelle and to another foodie video. So today I will be sharing with you a week's worth of dinners, sharing all 7 meals, how to make them, all the ingredients to lose weight. I really hope that you enjoy this video. I do make quite a lot of foodie content over here, so if you are new then I would love for you to subscribe. And I do upload all of my meal plans onto my stories on my Instagram account, which is At Home with Chelle. And then I also have a foodie account which I try and post to quite regularly, just post meal ideas on there and what we are eating, which is Eat Well Not Less _UK. So if you also want to follow on Instagram, then I will link those two in the description box down below, because you can get lots more foodie ideas over there. So yeah, I'll basically be showing you 7 meal ideas that are all ideal if you want to lose weight. They're meals that you can cook for the entire family. For each meal I'll show you all the ingredients that you need, the method of how to cook it, the calories for each, and the sins if you are following Slimming World. And I have to say, all of these 7 meals are absolutely delicious and ideal if you're a busy working parent as well, because we don't want to be spending ages in the kitchen cooking neither. So yeah, let's get into the video and I really hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you do. Monday night we had a chicken and cauliflower curry, which came in at, the curry itself actually was only 202 calories. Served with rice as well made it just over 400 and was completely sin-free if you are following Slimming World. I really like to add lots of veggies into my curries. I probably have a curry most weeks, to be honest, and adding cauliflower is such a great veg to add in because it also bulks it out quite a lot too and gives you that extra veggies in your dinner. This is everything that you'll need to make the chicken and cauliflower curry. So you'll obviously need some chicken. You can use other meat or any other protein or keep it veggie if you prefer, but I'm making it with chicken. So here I've got 3 chicken breasts that I've just diced. You'll then need some cauliflower. So here I've got around half a cauliflower, which I've just cut into small little bite-sized florets. I've got 1 diced onion, a carton of passata. You'll then need about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, some salt and pepper for seasoning, and in here I've got 2 of these roasted red peppers. So I've just basically diced them up there. I'm also going to add in probably around half a cup of peas. You can add in basically whatever vegetables you want. You could add some courgette or mushrooms or basically anything. And then I've got some 3 garlic cloves, a chicken stock, which I'm just going to add with some water in a moment. And then spice wise, I'm going to add these chopped red chilies. You can obviously just use a fresh red chili if you prefer, and then a couple of teaspoons of curry powder, mild or spicy, whichever one you prefer. I completely forgot, you'll then also need some rice to serve it. And then I'm just going to make this in a large saucepan, ideally one like a frying pan, ideally one with a lid that you can pop on top. And then I'm just going to put it on a medium to high heat and then spray it with some oil or fry light before adding the onions. So start off by adding your diced onions in here. Along with the onions, I'm also going to add the garlic cloves. To the onions and the garlic, I'm also going to add some chilli. This is the point where you'd add your fresh chilli. This is actually quite hot, so I'm just going to add probably around half a tablespoon of that. Obviously you can add more depending on how spicy that you like it. Just give that a stir and allow that to cook for around 5 minutes. About 5 minutes, it should have started to soften a little bit, and then you want to add in your diced chicken. Then you want to add in 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Give that a really good mix round together so the powder coats all of the chicken just for around 30 seconds. You then want to add the diced peppers, the passata, and the chicken stock. Season with some salt and pepper in there too. Give it all a really good stir so everything is coated, and then pop on a lid. To medium heat and then turn it down to simmer for around 5 minutes with the lid on. So I brought it to the boil and then let it simmer with the lid on for around 5 minutes. And then just take it off, give it a good stir, and then it's time to add in your cauliflower and peas. I'm just going to pop the rice on now too as well. To give it a stir, just mix it all through and then leave that with the lid off for another 5 minutes. And then it's ready to serve. Tuesday was a pasta dish. It was basically just a cheesy broccoli pasta, super easy to make, an ideal dinner for midweek when you get in and you're in a rush. It only takes about 10 minutes to make, has hardly any ingredients, and is absolutely delicious. Really low in calorie too. So this one comes in at only 322 calories per serving, and again is completely sin-free on a Slimming World. These are all the ingredients that you'll need to make the cheesy broccoli pasta. So you'll obviously need some broccoli. So this evening I'm only actually making this for 2 of us because Arabella had her dinner at nursery and Tamsin is at work, so it's just for Nick and I, so it's just for 2. But obviously if you want to make it for 4, then just double the quantities that I'm sharing with you this evening. So obviously you'll need some broccoli. I'll probably use about half of this, but would use a full one normally. Then you'll need some pasta. I really like these pasta shells because I find that all the sauce kind of gets all in the shells and is really deliciously yummy. So I'll be using around 150 grams of that. Half a lemon, so I'll be using the rind and the actual juice. I've got about 150 ml of stock here, so I've just got a vegetable stock cube and some water. And then you'll need either some mixed herbs, but I'm just using some oregano, so I'll use about a teaspoon of that, and then around half a teaspoon of chilies, a couple of garlic cubes, and then a little bit of parmesan. Not much at all, only around, I'd say about 15 grams of parmesan. So to start off with, I'm just going to thinly slice the garlic. Normally I'd just use a garlic crusher, but I actually prefer the slices when I'm doing this, although this is a bit more fiddly. Put a frying pan that also has a lid which you can attach on a medium heat. Spray it with some fry light, and then you want to add the garlic and just fry that for around 30 seconds. And then I'm just going to quickly chop half the broccoli so I can put the florets in. So I've probably left that for about a minute or so. You don't really want to leave it any longer because it will burn. Then I've just chopped half of the broccoli, and then I'll just pop that in there. Give it a really quick stir around just to infuse with the, oh, it smells delicious. Just infuse that with the garlic, and then just pour over your stock. So it doesn't cover it at all, but it will just be enough to cook it and then create a bit of steam in there as well. And then pop a lid on that and leave it for around 15 minutes. Whilst you're waiting for the broccoli, I normally put the pasta on at this time as well. You want to cook that for around 12 minutes. So after a while, then it should be nice and cooked. So then you want to transfer it into a bowl. You can just leave it in the thing if you want, but I'm just going to transfer it to then
mash it. So this is probably the only time ever that I would overcook the broccoli. So just give it a good mash. It will still have a little bit of liquid in it too. And then I'll just drain the pasta, just reserving a little bit of the water. So once you've mashed all of the broccoli, then transfer it to the drained pasta. Grate over the rind from about half a lemon. Then you want to grate in around 15 grams of Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle in a little bit of oregano, and then lastly add some crushed chilies. Just give that all a really good stir, add in more of the pasta water if needed, and there you have it, it's ready. Super easy broccoli cheesy pasta.
Wednesday was another veggie dish, and this was cheesy leeks. I actually did add bacon, so it wasn't veggie, but it's super easy just to make it veggie, just leaving out all the bacon. What I really like about this as well is that it's all made in one pot, so it saves on the washing up too. And this one came in at only 310 calories, so again, really low in calories. I just served it with some veggies on the side as well, and was only one sin if you are following Slimming World.
Tonight we're going to be having cheesy leeks. This will serve 2 people because I'm only making it for Nick and I tonight. Obviously if you want to serve 4, then just double the quantities that I'm mentioning here. So you will need half a broccoli, a tin of cannellini beans. I've got around 50 ml of skimmed milk here, 1 leek, around half a teaspoon of thyme. I've got around 30 grams of cheddar cheese here, so like a low fat cheddar cheese. 1 garlic clove. I would literally use a sprinkling of Parmesan cheese, and then I've got around 50 ml of stock, vegetable stock, and then I'm also going to add some bacon on top. So I'm just going to put some of the bacon medallions in the air fryer as a bit of a bacon crispy topping, but of course you can leave that out. Large frying pan on that you also have a lid for, and then just spray it with some fry light, and then you want to fry the leeks in there for around 5 minutes with the garlic. After about 5 minutes, the leeks will have softened nicely. Then you want to add in your drained cannellini beans, the cauliflower that I've just put into florets, about half a teaspoon of dried thyme, pour over the milk, and lastly the stock, and then just season with some salt. Whilst that's doing, I'm just going to pop a couple of bacon medallions into the air fryer for around 5 minutes until they go crispy. I actually have a special offer for this air fryer which they have kindly shared with me. If you use the code CHELLEAF, then you will get 31% off, which makes this an absolute deal. After about 10 minutes, remove the lid and you can see that most of the liquid has absorbed, and then you want to add your cheese. So I've got 30 grams of grated light cheddar here, so just add that on, add that into the pan, and then I've also got some of my bacon, so I've just chopped the bacon into small little bits. Of course you can leave this out if you want it veggie, so I'm just going to add that in, and then I'll leave a couple of bits for on top as well. So just give that a good stir, mix all the cheese in with the cauliflower. So this creates a bit of, it's almost like a kind of cauliflower cheese, but honestly this is delicious. I'm just going to season with some black pepper. You can see the cheese quite quickly melts. And then if you've got a oven-proof pan, then you can keep it in here, or if not, I'm just going to transfer it to an oven-proof pan because I'm just going to pop this under the grill for around 10 minutes. I'm just going to top with the remaining bacon bits. And then a small bit of the parmesan. Pop it into a preheated grill and grill it on a high heat for around 5 minutes until the cheese and topping goes all crispy.
Thursday evening I made a salmon poke bowl. I think that's how you say it, poke bowl. This was actually inspired. I had one in Marks and Spencer's a few weeks ago and really enjoyed it, so thought that I would try and make my own at home because it's super easy. Again, a really quick midweek meal where you just put all of the sushi rice, and you can basically put anything that you want in it, all of your veggies, any meat that you want or protein. I chose salmon and it was really delicious. I just felt really good after I'd eaten it as well. This would also make quite a good lunch. Slightly higher in calories this one, so this one was just over 500 calories and did have 1.5 sins because of the dressing that I'd included with it as well. But yeah, honestly, absolutely delicious and a really nice change to meals that I would normally eat.
This is everything that you'll need to make the salmon poke bowls. It does look like quite a lot of ingredients, but most of the ingredients are for the sauce and are things that you'll probably have in your cupboards anyway. So for the actual sushi itself, you'll need sushi rice, which is available in most supermarkets. You'll need around 150 grams for this, and this will serve 2 people. If you want to serve 4, then obviously just double all the ingredients that I'm mentioning. And then you will also need 1 tablespoon of cider or apple cider vinegar. I'm then making a sauce to go with mine as well, so I'll be using 10 grams of lighter than light mayonnaise. I've also got some soy sauce here, so I'll use about 1.5 tablespoons of light soy sauce, around ½ a teaspoon of sesame oil, and then around ½ a teaspoon of fish sauce. I'll probably literally just put a dash of that in, you don't really need much of that at all. And then ½ a tablespoon of sriracha or any kind of hot chili sauce that you've got lying around. And then I'll also add a squeeze of lemon into the sauce as well. And then for the actual what I'm putting in it, so I'll add some salmon. I'm just using smoked salmon, but you can use poached salmon or anything, because just a leftover salmon if you want. I've also got some edamame beans. I did want fresh ones. I had actually bought some fresh ones, but I'd ate a few early on in the week and then it actually gone off. So I found some frozen ones in Asda actually. So I've never tried these before, but you just cook them in a couple of minutes, so hopefully they'll be okay. I've then got a bag of watercress, spinach and rocket. You can just add in whatever salad you want. I've got a carrot that I'm just going to basically grate or peel just to make some like ribbons with it. A couple of spring onions, and I'll probably use about half an avocado as well.
Weigh out the required amount of sushi rice and then rinse it in cold water until the water runs completely clear, and that will just help to remove any excess starch. And then you want to add enough water so it just about covers the rice.
You then want to bring it to the boil, and then I would just stir it continuously at this point, just whilst you bring it to the boil. And then you want to leave it to simmer for around 10 minutes until all the water has evaporated.
Meanwhile, I quickly prepped the veg, so grated the carrot and then trimmed and sliced the spring onions, and then sliced half of the avocado.
Once the rice has gone quite stodgy like this, most of the water will be absorbed. At this point I would just remove it from the heat and then place a lid or a plate on top of it to let the rest of the rice steam. just again stirring it very occasionally. I'm then just going to make the sauce. I'm going to do a tablespoon of extra light mayo. A teaspoon and a half of soy sauce. And then I'll just put a dash of fish sauce in there. And then around a teaspoon of sriracha as well. Then going to add the juice from half a lemon. And season with some black pepper. And then give it all a really good stir together. If you need to add a little bit more mayo, it will start off quite lumpy, but just keep stirring it and then it will gradually become a smooth sauce and get rid of any of the lumps in there. There we are, just keep mixing it until it's at your required consistency. Basically like a fairly thin sauce. Whilst I'm waiting for everything, these only take a couple of minutes. I'm just going to put the edamame beans on there, boil for a couple of minutes and then drain, and they'll be ready too. So now the sauce is done, the edamame beans are on. I'm just quickly going to add the salmon to the sauce. You don't have to do this step. You can obviously just drizzle this sauce on top, but I'm going to actually put the salmon in this sauce. So just rip it up into like bite-sized pieces. Once all the salmon's in, just give it a really good mix together so the sauce is covering all the salmon, and then it's just ready to put in the bowl in a minute. Honestly, I just had a little bit of this and it tastes delicious. Once the rice is cooked and steamed, then you just want to add about a tablespoon of your vinegar. I don't want to add that much. Some salt in there as well, and then a teaspoon of sweetener. I forgot to mention that at the start. So you can use sugar or sweetener. I'm using sweetener because obviously it's a lot lower in calories and sins. So around half a teaspoon of that, and then just sprinkle that over the rice as well and mix it all through. To assemble the dish is actually really easy. Just start by putting the rice onto the base of it and then layer it up with the grated carrot, the spring onions, the avocado, the salmon in the sauce, the edamame beans, some pickled cabbage, and then lastly I just like to also add on a handful of the salad leaves. And there we are, it's now ready to serve. So when you serve it, you just mix it all up together and it is honestly delicious.
Friday night was a bit of a fake away night where I made a Turkish kebab. So I made a Turkish kebab with chicken and put it in some pita bread. It was a really lovely day as well, so we actually sat outside and enjoyed it. Honestly delicious. I also used one of my Spice Entice sachets that I get, and if you use the code Chelle20 and the link below, you also get 20% off. I've mentioned Spice Entice so many times, I absolutely love it. I use them all the time. And the Turkish kebab with chips as well, so I made homemade chips with this. This came in at 542 calories, that's including the chips, and 1 sin plus using your healthy extra B if you're following Slimming World.
So to make the kebabs, I'm going to use some chicken thigh fillets. These are the skinless and boneless ones. And then what I'll do is just cut any fat off as well, just to make it lower in calories and sin-free on Slimming World. And then spice-wise, I'm going to use this Turkish doner kebab mix. This is from Spice Entice, and then it's got basically a really good selection of all the spices that you need to make the kebab in this little pouch here. Super easy because you hardly need anything else extra then. And if you use the code, I think it's Chelle20, then that also gives you 20% off. Honestly, I've mentioned these so many times. I love spice and Thai, super easy. And then to serve that with, I've just got a garlic clove here as well, just to mix in with the spices, and some lemon juice. To serve that with, I've decided I'm also going to add some chips. I'm going to do some homemade chips. I've just picked up some white potatoes earlier. And then I'm going to put the kebabs in a wholemeal pitta, which is your healthy extra B if you're following Slimming World, or 135 calories per pitta. I'm then just going to make a little bit of a dip to go with it, just with some Greek yogurt and some mint sauce as well, and then just serve that with some lettuce and tomato. In a bowl, you want to mix together all of the ingredients. So you will need 1 garlic clove, some salt, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, and then all of the spices from the Spice Entice mix. Mix it all together and then add the diced chicken, making sure that it's all coated, and then place that to one side whilst you get on and make the chips. To make the chips, I'm not going to bother peeling the potatoes or anything. I just chop the ends off and then cut them into chip-like shapes. So I've got all of my chips here. I'm just going to add in some water, a bit of salt, parboil them for around 5 minutes. Whilst the chips are parboiling, I'm going to get on and thread the chicken. So all you want to do is just grab the chicken and thread it on some skewers before it goes in the oven. I'll need to voice over this bit as the kids were so loud, but to cook the chips I sprayed a baking tray with some fry light, added the drained potatoes, seasoned with some salt and pepper, sprayed with a little bit more fry light, and then popped them in the oven at 200 degrees for around 20 minutes. I put the chips on the top shelf of the oven and then the chicken into the middle. Whilst that's doing in the oven, I'm just quickly going to make a dip to go with it. So here I've just got some 0% fat Greek yogurt, and then I'll just basically put a few tablespoons of this into a bowl and then add some mint sauce. Probably around half a teaspoon of some mint sauce. Give that a stir through, and then that's a lovely minty dressing to go with your kebabs. After around 20 minutes, it shouldn't be nice. You might want to shake the chips halfway through. But you can see here the chips are lovely and crispy, and they've got no oil or anything on other than the fry light. Honestly, I always cook chips like this and they always taste absolutely delicious. And then I've got the kebabs. So all of any fat or any liquid or anything would have just drained away, and then you're left here with delicious kebabs. So I will just cut one just to make sure that it's cooked, which I've already done and had a little taste, and it tastes, oh my god, amazing. Because it's hot this evening, we're having dinner outside, and I've just served everything together all on a bit of a platter with the chips on the side.
Saturday evening was a bit of a treat evening where I had salmon laksa. This is honestly delicious. It is slightly higher in calories and sins than the other meals that I've mentioned, but as it was Saturday, I felt like it's a bit of a treat, and it's obviously much better for you than getting a takeaway, and the flavours from this are just amazing. It's all like Thai inspired, honestly. And the salmon, I cooked the salmon in the air fryer and it was just delicious. So this one came in at 650 calories, so again slightly higher, but you know, 650 calories for your dinner is still fairly good. The sin values on this one was quite high with the paste and the milk that I used. So the sins on this one were 6 sins, but honestly well worth every single sin. Nick actually made this dinner, so I will voice over what you will need. So you will need 1 tin of light coconut milk, 100 grams of egg noodles, 2 tablespoons of red Thai curry paste, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 spring onion, 2 carrots, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 1 lime, 1 tablespoon of honey and 250 ml of chicken stock plus the 2 salmon fillets. Season your salmon fillets with salt and pepper, some garlic granules and some chili flakes if you like, and then pop them into an air fryer for around 8 minutes at 200 degrees. Remember, I have a code for 31% off, making this less than £70 for the air fryer. The link is in the description. Follow that link and the code is Chelle AF. Meanwhile, gently heat the Thai paste in a saucepan, add in the sliced spring onion and then the coconut milk, stirring continuously. Then you want to add in the peanut butter, the chicken stock and the egg noodles. Bring it to the boil and then grate the rind from a lime and the juice from half a lime. Again, give everything a really good stir and add your honey, soy sauce and fish sauce. Give it a final stir, then place it in a bowl, loading the salmon, carrots and the spring onion on top. And on Sunday was the final meal of the week where I actually used the slow cooker. I tend not to use the slow cooker as much in the summer. I don't know why, but I actually made this meal in the slow cooker and it felt like quite like a nice summery meal. I always think of the slow cooker for like stews and wintry meals, but yeah, I definitely need to use it more in the summer. So this was a garlic and herb chicken dish. This came in at 535 calories and was 1 sin per person. This is everything that you'll need to make the chicken dinner. So you'll need some potatoes. So you want some little potatoes, ideally Jersey Royals or salad potatoes, something like that, around a 500 gram bag. Some fresh rosemary, I've just cut that from the garden. Some oregano, around a teaspoon of oregano, some Cajun seasoning, around a tablespoon of that, and then you'll want some chicken thigh fillets, so skinless and the boneless ones I've got here. You can cook it with bone in if you want, but these are just the ones that I happen to have. Then you want about 2 tablespoons of butter, around 70 grams of Parmesan cheese, 6 garlic cloves, and a lemon, and then you'll just want some fresh veg to serve it with. Initially I seasoned the chicken with salt and pepper whilst it was still in the packet, and then you want to fry it for a couple of minutes. My slow cooker can actually go straight onto the hob, which is so handy. I will link it down below if you are interested. And whilst the chicken was frying, I just cut the potatoes into bite-sized pieces. Back to the chicken, add the Cajun seasoning and fry for around 2 minutes on each side and then put on a plate. Put the slow cooker back and then add in the chopped potatoes to the base, seasoning with some salt and pepper, and sprinkle over half of the finely grated parmesan, crush in the garlic and then dab over some of the low fat butter on top. Add some of the rosemary sprigs before placing the chicken thighs back on top. Once you've put all of them back on top, sprinkle over the oregano and then the rest of the grated parmesan. Add a sprinkling of parsley and then finish by adding a few lemon slices. And you want to just pop the lid on and cook that on high for around 4 hours.
So I've left this for about 4 hours. Honestly, I wish you could smell it. The whole house smells incredible. And it is ready now, so I've just pricked the potatoes there nice and soft, cut a bit of chicken just to make sure it's cooked, but it should be cooked if you're cooking it that long. It's lovely and soft as well, and now I'm just going to serve it with some veggies.
They are all of the meals that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you did enjoy this video. Remember, if you do want to purchase the air fryer, they have given me a code which I will put on screen, but I'm pretty sure it is Chelle AF. And if you also follow the link that I've put in the description, then that will give you 31% off the air fryer, which just makes it a fantastic price. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you do make any of these meals, then please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm always really interested to hear what you think about some of the meals. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!